This week on Across the Arrowverse, the legends bring together 6 coloured gems that have the ultimate power to summon a cuddly toy. Hi everyone and welcome to the show. I'm Matthew Vose.
And I'm Catherine Kay.
This week we are going to be discussing Supergirl, Shot Through the Heart, The Flash, Lose Yourself, DC's Legends of Tomorrow, The Good, the Bad and the Cuddly, and Arrow, Fundamentals. This was the last in the season of Legends of Tomorrow. So season 3 is now done with. I think we should rattle through at least Arrow and Supergirl, because there's a lot to discuss on the other two.
Yeah, agreed.
So, Arrow, Fundamentals. Happened?
It's the same as last week. Miserable, shouty, miserable.
Yeah, I don't actually think anything particularly changed, except he's now not mayor, but it hasn't really felt like he's been mayor and was not going to continue being mayor for a long time anyway.
I got a little bit lost at the end, possibly because I wasn't paying much attention. So he's after his whole drug trip, he was like, yes, I've realised John was right. I'm spreading myself too thin. And so I'm going to...
Step down as mayor.
Was it step down as mayor?
If I'm not impeached, I will step down. Oh, I'm impeached. Well, there we go. Decisions made for me.
I think I lost attention when he was saying what he was going to do. Okay, so he was going to step down as mayor so he could focus on the mission.
Yeah.
And was he still wanting to focus on the mission as Arrow rather than Green Arrow? Oh,
I'm not sure they're particularly calling a difference between it.
Right.
Because there was this idea that as the Hood and Arrow, he was more violent and more prone to killing people. As Green Arrow, he's supposed to be more of a symbol.
Yeah. Yeah.
The way I read it. I don't feel it worked opening in media res with him taking on the police. That it would have been better to have that as the climax.
Yes, I agree. I agree. Do you think the whole Vertigo thing was to allow him to get this angry side out while still going, but he wouldn't really smash his son's science project because look, he's a nice Oliver, really.
It is having your cake and eating it, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't like it.
Yeah. I don't feel things have changed, but we now have a more established the hero against the villain thing going on.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, okay. Don't think there's much more to say on Arrow.
Move on,
so
please.
Supergirl, Shot Through the Heart. We have another Bon Jovi reference.
Yay!
We had a nice karaoke opening.
Yes, that was fun.
Which we quite enjoyed. We enjoyed Monel's dad doing some Elvis Presley. Very, very good. And we had the introduction of Wynn's mum.
Yes.
Mom. So we have talked about how Wynn's not had much to do recently, or for a little while. So this was a proper Wynn episode.
Yes, it really was.
I think it was very well done.
Yep.
It surprised me. I was expecting her to turn out to be villainous. I was getting real vibes of what we saw with the Trickster earlier on in the season.
Yeah.
But it went to a much better place than that, I think. So plot A was done very well, I think.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's fun.
Yeah. Plot B had a lot going on with Monel and Kara.
Yeah, I'm enjoying that less.
Yeah.
I'm like, Monel, get over yourself, dude. You married her.
Yeah.
Deal with your wife. Stop trying to suck Kara into your own personal crap.
Yeah, a little bit. What do we think of the revelation that the World Killer or the World Killer they've not found is potentially going to be their villain from the future?
I don't understand why it had to be a revelation. I don't understand why it was kept to a secret up till now.
Okay.
I'm. It makes sense, and it helps cement the whole. Hey, they're all working together to get rid of the World Killers. Don't understand why it had to be such a secrety.
Other than time travel shenanigans, because that's the thing with it, isn't it? Just we couldn't tell you before because she hadn't appeared. Now she has. This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's just making me think. I'm hopeful that there might be a thing of, but we can't mess with time in this way, and understanding that. But that's because I quite like the science of time travel, the science fiction of time travel.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
We'll see what comes of that.
Yeah.
And then finally, the other plot in this was John Johns' dad.
Oh, that was sad.
with a sort of Alzheimer's dementia-esque disease coming on.
Yeah.
I felt it was very well portrayed.
I agree.
I think they looked at every side of that very well.
Yep.
So I'm not sure. Not sure I can say I'm pleased, but they're doing the story well.
Yeah. To quote Mandy, it made my heart hurt, and I think that's because they did it so well.
Yes, yeah. I quite appreciate there was a moment in there where they had a very, very light touch on racial politics. Just the thing about how they are men of colour in American society at the moment.
Yep.
They didn't really address anything because there was very much a sense of, well, we had to do this and it's not been too bad for us. But certainly this side of the Arrowverse, these shows have never really addressed race at all. I mean, the Flash does some very strange things given how Caucasian the West family come across as.
Yes.
By comparison, but it feels like with the introduction of Black Lightning, they're appreciating perhaps they could do more discussion.
I agree.
I think it was well handled, and I think it gives scope to do more of it in the future.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, interesting to see how that develops.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting. Okay, so those are our two big ones. I'm just seeing if I've got any other notes on them. I quite enjoyed, actually, just going back to that plot A about Wynn, I quite enjoyed getting some insight on the child of a villain. And what had happened to him and his mum as he was growing up, her leaving and the threats against him. That's not a story I think I've ever seen. Because usually it's either they go super heroic and have to bring the parent down, or they end up following in their footsteps.
Yeah.
That was actually quite a nice, very mundane, but very good way to show it.
And it also showed the dad being a villain on a micro sense as well as on a macro sense.
Yeah.
That kind of controlling behaviour to try and control his family.
Yeah.
That's a more day-to-day villainy that sadly you hear stories about all the time.
Yeah.
But then with his crazy villain.
Yeah. And again,
Input
handled well.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, no, that was really good. And that's, like I say, it's an interesting take on a story. And they're not even going down what, again, could have been expected of redeeming the father.
Oh, yeah.
No, he was
no
always
redemption.
evil. Yeah.
And he is actually dead, isn't he?
It seems to be, yes.
Yeah.
So that was good. I just have one other note here that Jimmy Olsen's friendship without pressure to win when Wynn's father died, and he just said, I'm just going to be here, I'm going to stay with you.
Yeah, really
Great,
nice.
really well handled. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with Jimmy and Lana next week.
Lena,
yes. And what she's been doing with Sam.
that actually is probably worth touching on. Something slightly sinister in what she's doing with Sam. Where is that going?
I would quite like, actually, them to make Lena a bit of a villain, and it would explain away the question we always have of why they're not telling her about Supergirl. So... could be an interesting step towards that.
Yeah.
Final piece, there was a great line of just, you should have a housewarming, but our apartment is at a good temperature.
Yeah.
Great, I'm always here for a line like that. That was good.
Yes, I like.
Okay, we have the season finale of Legends of Tomorrow.
Yep.
And we have The Flash.
Yep.
Which was quite a big episode.
It was. In fact, I feel that was bigger and better than the season finale of Legends of Tomorrow.
I think I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think Legends didn't quite go to a big enough episode for what should have been the end of the season. If I hadn't known that was the end of the season, I would have expected an Act 3 still to be coming.
They seem to focus, to me, more on setting up the next season rather than finishing this season on a big bang.
Yeah. They were tying together lots of threads about Amaya, about Zari staying on, about what's happening to the totems. Why do I feel like someone else has left? Well, Ripper's gone. So there's that.
Yes. With relatively little fanfare.
Yeah. Surprisingly just done. And then we don't mourn him quite as much as we have with other characters.
Has there been some kind of rift between Rip and the showmakers? Because he was really... Or maybe the actor is just like, dudes, I'm British, I'd like to be over in the UK more.
Yeah.
I don't want to hang out in Vancouver filming your show anymore.
Yeah. We should probably look up, he's probably got something on the West End or something.
Exactly, but he was not in it very... For someone that was one of the big characters in the first season, wasn't in it very much at all, and then it was like, hey, I'm going to sacrifice myself, see ya. In the opening of the episode. Exactly.
Very unusual.
Yeah.
The episode itself, the twist with Damien Dark becoming Malice.
I liked it.
Very well done.
liked it.
That was what we had expected from the beginning, him as the
Yeah.
big villain. It was an interesting twist to make Nora that villain.
Yeah.
And then it was even more interesting to go back to what we originally expected.
Yes.
I like the way we got there. I like time travel when it's done interestingly, and this was a very interesting use of time travel.
Yep.
So that was good.
Yep.
Almost a shame Damien Dark has gone.
This was a good Damien Dark, but I suppose, what could you do with this Damien Dark? Because the only thing that was keeping him leashed and entertaining rather than completely villainous was the fact that they shared the goal of defeating Malice, albeit for different purposes. So once that's gone, what stops him from becoming villainous Damien Dark?
Yeah.
So I am sad that he's gone because I enjoyed him this season, but equally glad that he's gone rather than they try and keep him lingering on. But also, he can be raised from the dead again. They've done it so many times now.
A couple of times with this guy, so yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
So, yeah,
Maybe they do something with him. It's leaving me hopeful Nora might join the team.
I hope so. I like Nora. I like Nora. Although, some of the reasons I like Nora is she hits the same buttons as Zari.
Yes.
So...
Very plain spoken, plain...
Exactly.
Yeah, character.
So we'll see if they keep them both, because they do kind of like a collection rather than necessarily doubling up on the same character.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is the right place in the Arrowverse for there to be magic.
I agree.
So she's a good addition there. And especially if Constantine does join the team.
Yes.
That will be, again, a good... sort of the two of them working together, but from different ends of, he's good and she's not necessarily.
It could be really interesting, although they do need to get someone to deal with Constantine's hair.
Yeah, that was a very orange Bleach job.
So when I was at university, we used to have a Japanese university linked to Durham, and every year they'd send over first-year Japanese students, and they'd literally do the first year of their degree at Durham, and the very first thing they did after escaping the very regimented Japanese high school system and coming to live abroad on their own was bleach their hair.
Oh.
And there was a lot of orange hair, a la Constantine.
Yeah.
Seriously, they need to get a better hairdresser on that show.
Because in his own show, in his other appearances, it's been fine. It's been a very, almost platinum.
Yes.
A very, very light blonde, but that was not good.
I think maybe he's naturally dark-haired because he was on Criminal Minds as a detective. Yeah. Who knows what season? One of the seasons I've watched recently. And he was looking a lot more natural with dark brown hair.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, did they have to do something because it was being filmed in the sun on a beach? Did it look really terrible as it was? They had to get a different wig or something. Who knows?
Who knows?
But it wasn't good. Yeah, Zari was very good all the way through this. I think she has been the find of this season.
Yeah.
I think she is a very good character to include. She's almost written in the same way they're writing someone like Wally.
Yeah.
Just a bit of fun and very ordinary. But she's got some interesting differences because she has her own religion that's not often portrayed on TV, because she is a totem bearer and believes in that mission. It comes across very nicely. There is a mix of serious and fun with her.
Yeah. She's also quite dry, quite reserved, whereas Wally's like a big puppy.
He is, and it works.
It
works.
It.
It suits him utterly. The new style, the laid back attitude.
It's all
great.
good. Yeah. I like it.
So the big finale of this, partway through, they realise they need to try to work together to combine all the totems into make one
Mighty
Mega Beast thing.
Totem Ranger.
Yes, the Infinity Legends, Legends of Infinity. I can't think how to combine them. The Legends Gauntlet.
The Infinity Totes.
Yes, yeah. But it is very much, we've said this before, but now with Infinity War having been out, it's almost the same premise.
I think especially for us, having seen Infinity War on the Friday night and then watched this on the Saturday morning, it was just like, oh, look, shiny things of different colours.
Yeah, right. I was quite surprised it didn't work in that initial attempt. And I like the way they went with that.
It was they went to a dark place,
very
didn't
creepy.
They? Yeah.
I like that it gave them a thing of, we're actually going to get support from people who can come in and give us support and show that we actually have done good stuff in the world. But then to try again and succeed that other time was really good. I don't think it should have been Bebo.
I think that someone got overexcited about their offhand jokey idea in the writer's room.
Yeah.
And then they all got ill-advisedly on board with running with the joke.
Yeah.
Because it was a bit like a pastiche of what the show should have been.
Yeah. It just became...
for me.
The big problem really is it became a large CG fight with Bebo jokes. And the Bebo jokes are only funny for a few seconds.
It was a bit like a rubbish version of Robot Chicken.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't. It just I think that was an idea that did not have the legs that the writers' room thought it did.
And I think especially because the way they were talking about summoning someone who is good and can help them fight, I almost expected them to bring back Martin Stein, and for Vincent Garber to be the sort of ethereal warrior who comes to defeat Malice would have been a very nice.
I'd have liked that better.
Yeah, ending tribute. Yeah. Bebo just feels like a joke. Yeah. Like you say, it shouldn't have gone that far.
And I think I shan't say the season's disappointed me. The season has not disappointed me. It has been a good Legends season as a whole. I would say the final episode hit a 7 for me rather than the 9 or 10 that I was expecting.
Yeah. Yeah, because the first half of the season wasn't great. It was pretty normal, if not bad at times.
Yes.
We got annoyed with a number of the characters, a number of the decisions, and it just sort of drifted and we didn't really care.
Yes.
And then that break comes and they introduce Constantine, and I think they introduce good Wentworth Miller, and it suddenly becomes really good fun. It just twisted, and I don't know why, I don't know how, I don't know whether it was our attitude towards it that changed. But it became a good show. Yeah, and I think this season finale is somewhere in between that second half and that first half.
Exactly. I agree.
So it very much seems like they're going to be setting up next season as hunting down demons. Not necessarily a time travel thing. But...
Legends of Constantine?
Yeah, a little bit.
Consta Legends?
Do you want him to join the team?
I'm wondering... Is he effectively the Rip replacement?
Well...
Is that the overall role he's going to play? He's going to show up, he's going to give them guidance, he's going to let them get on with it, but every now and then he's going to step in. Because I don't think he is a team player enough to actively join the team.
Okay. I think I agree.
And he's also got his own stuff going on. He doesn't have, he has a life that he, runs around exercising stuff. I don't know. But, I don't think he's a natural...
Exorcising, just to make sure I heard you right.
Exorcising, yeah. But yeah, I don't think he would have any desire to start messing around with him on the Wave Rider.
Yeah.
But I think he will be promoted to season regular.
Okay.
Rather than season occasional.
Okay. I think I agree. I think I want him as a regular every week because I like him.
Yeah.
But I think you're right, because you're quite smart. Yeah, it might be a bit too much, and I'm not sure it would work well with that character.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was one good line in this that I particularly liked when, just to wrap us up, when they're talking about, we need to face this fight, we're legends, we can do this. Now how do we sneak out the back?
Yes. Sarah, that character has just become such a good character on this season.
Yeah.
We've seen, obviously we've seen the character around for ages since her start in Arrow.
In Arrow, yeah.
Arrow. But yeah, they've really landed how to write Sarah now. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, she's become a good leader. Go on.
No, I was about to say, is Nyssa going to come on and join? But I don't think Liz is off hunching that Lazarus pit. And actually, we've still got too much Sarah and Ava or Ada or whatever she's called
Ava
to explore.
Yeah, I liked Ava in this as kind of the conduit to the people that were being brought together. I didn't really care to see Jax back again. Either way, it was nice enough. But
see who?
The half of Firestorm who's now married with a baby.
Yeah, Was that their way of saying, and he ain't doing no more superhero?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It's all the noises. But I did like having back the woman, Helen Troy, who went off to Themyscira.
Yes.
She was quite fun now because she has become a warrior.
Yeah.
And the good version of the granddaughter of Amaya.
Yes. That was
very
nice.
nicely done.
That was nice.
Yep. So Amaya's left as well. Not unexpected.
I am behind Amaya having left because I think they had carried her story and her arc as far as it could go. Because she had to leave. Because if she didn't leave, then Zambezi would
she wouldn't have a child.
Exactly. She wouldn't have a child, and etc. etc. So she had to leave. And also, I'm just over her and Nate's tortured, not tortured, whatever romance.
Yeah. Nate has gotten better through the season, but he's still not a favoured character.
No, we could get rid of him too. I don't think we're going to, but we could.
Yeah, I think he's probably the most disposable, so I'm hopeful. Beginning of the season, they might work out contracts over the summer.
He might get a bit rusty in his metal. I don't know.
And one of the things that they introduced Amaya for was because they couldn't work out a deal, I think, with the girl who played Vixen originally. So I wonder if they have been able to work out something and Vixen's going to join the group.
That could be cool.
I'd appreciate that.
Yeah. As long as she doesn't get to nominate, because that would just be grim.
That would be very strange.
Just.
Well, no, I mean, there's probably going to be a thing with Ray because they want to set up Ray with everyone. Who knows? Okay, so The Flash, like you say, felt like a much bigger episode.
Yeah.
A lot happened very well. And it's really interesting to see. We are properly into Act 3 of this story now.
I cannot believe there are still 5 episodes to go.
Yeah.
Because this is feeling climactic.
Absolutely. So, particularly, we had the search for the final bus meta, who it turns out has the portal disappearing through space pocket dimension thing. We have the Cap addiction with Harry.
Yeah.
And we have Ralph getting grumpier and grumpier because he thinks they should just kill DeVoe, but that's not what they do.
Yep.
And eventually they manage to get to DeVoe's lair, and it turns out it's all a setup for DeVoe to come in and start taking him over and get all the bus metas they've now been collecting for him. Really good. Because they've been telling us all the way through, this person is super smart and 10 steps ahead of you. And again, they've proven it.
Yes.
They are not breaking this character.
No. It was excellent. Horrifying and excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, his wife is clearly going to be the weak link.
Yeah.
But when she's fighting by his side, she is a good, strong villain because she is doing what she believes is right.
Yeah, and she obviously... They haven't told us yet what the enlightenment... Enlightenment? Enlightenment. I don't know where the extra
The light intense that I meant.
They haven't told us what that actually is yet, have they?
No. But we now have a picture. It's a big machine. And maybe it's a
powered by dark matter.
Yeah, maybe something like that. Why he needs to get rid of Team Flash to do that, I don't know. Maybe it is about him controlling it in a Lex Luthor kind of way.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to find out.
And it was interesting. Yeah, dark matter seems to be a thing of great danger, great import. The fact it was the overload of dark matter that has possibly meant that Harry Wells is now a bit dim.
Yeah. Yeah, so end of the episode. This felt like proper cliffhanger territory. You know, I would have expected this as a hiatus, pre-hiatus episode. We had Harry Wells is possibly not smart anymore. Is possibly brain damaged.
Yeah, basically.
We have Killer Frost is gone.
Yes.
Very interesting. And we now have Ralph Dibny is DeVoe, which means he can become a younger... standing up version of himself.
Called it.
You did call it. You called that a very long time ago. You also called the Cap addiction.
Yeah.
You know, this is you saw a lot of this coming.
Yeah. I watch too much TV.
But you don't. You only watch 3 shows.
But obsessively.
But Grey's and Criminal Minds and Nashville non-stop.
Grey's, Criminal Minds and Nashville give me a great understanding of plotting.
I liked Ralph's arc through the episode.
Yes.
I felt like we got the whole range of his fear and his anger. We got to understand that it was because he now feels he has a family and he wants to deserve them, he wants to protect them.
made me cry.
It did.
I cried over Flash.
Yeah, it was so well done.
Yeah.
I didn't like the, but he's not actually captured me moment. Okay. Yeah, there could have been a smarter way out of that, but fine. We are where we are. Ralph is gone.
Hopefully for now, as opposed to forever.
Yeah, this feels like another thing of, no, at this point they are going to undo all this. All these people are going to be brought back to themselves. I'm really surprised if Ralph is gone forever.
I will have admiration for the show if they do. That if this is Ralph gone, if they actually stick by their we've killed this character and he is dead. Mm-hmm. I don't for one moment believe that is what's going to happen.
No,
but I would be, and I'd be sad. But I would have an admiration for it for actually genuinely killing its darling.
Yeah, because he has been another good addition to it. Eventually, yes. It's taken some time to get there. But I feel like the only reason we're on the fence about it is this was an appropriate send-off for a major character.
Yeah.
Getting an arc through the final episode, coming to a moment of peace, and then losing everything and being killed. Yeah. That is what you do to a character you kill on TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's surprising because they've done so much work in making all 12 of the bus metas interesting people. Not necessarily all 12. Most of them interesting people.
Yeah, some of them aren't. No.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what comes of that. And again, a bit like watching Infinity War, DeVoe is now suddenly ultimate power.
Powerful, yeah.
And can take on anything they throw at him. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when his wife turns against him to stop him from doing that thing. Are we going to have to now nerf him and depower him somehow? Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, not sure.
Yeah. But I did quite enjoy that final fight when he suddenly had all the powers.
Yes.
And just took them out without worrying. And now Killer Frost is gone. Which again, I could see them carrying through because they gave her a moment of sadness about it.
Yeah, will she be gone? I don't feel that they'll bring her... Gone. I don't think they'll bring her back in the same way. Because she and Caitlin have very much started to bond. So I'm wondering if we're going to end up them coming back and it being a sort of properly hybrid Caitlin Frost. If you know what I mean. So that Caitlin can access those powers without actually being the bad girl. But equally, when Caitlin is Caitlin, she won't necessarily be quite the good girl that she always has been.
Which is what they were setting up at the beginning of this season.
Yes.
That was where they were going with the first few episodes and her working for... Amunet. See, what you were saying at the beginning there, it's just made me think, is this going to be a Laurel Lance situation? There's going to be two of them, and they kill off Caitlin, and they're left with Killer Frost, but she has Caitlin's knowledge and science skills.
Maybe.
But is Killer Frost?
Yes.
Could be.
I could see that. I could see that.
Going back to Arrow, that's what they're doing with her. They are basically making her evil Laurel.
Yeah.
With the same, law skills and knowledge as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, I could see that.
The cap addiction was interestingly done. A little heavy-handed, a little obvious, but did what it needs to do.
And I felt bad for Harry when it was clearly that it was a DeVoe plan.
Yeah.
To get him to do this counterfeit cap, as he called it.
Very interesting.
I was just like, oh, Harry, your desire to be the best and your irritation at not being the best has led to you. I think hubris is probably the wrong word. I felt aggrieved with DeVoe for being so dismissive of Harry, because I like Harry.
Yeah.
But yes. I hope Harry doesn't prove to be permanently brain damaged.
Echo, stop.
What did I say?
Well, that was weird.
Like Echo, play some music.
Stop it. Yeah, I'm really interested to see where that goes. Is this going to be, he's going to be a different Wells? They're going to have to introduce a new Wells to help him? Is this going to be how they get his daughter back and send him off?
I want to watch the next episode.
Well, a couple of days.
Yay.
It'll be on. Couple of moments that we quite enjoyed. The bomb earring.
Yes.
So yeah, let's talk Iris.
We haven't mentioned Iris. I love what they've been doing with Iris.
Yeah.
Iris was proper awesome.
She's almost a new character this season.
Yes.
She's so different from anything they had before, where we just didn't care. I'm still not sure she necessarily has chemistry with Barry.
I think they make a very loving couple, a loving and supportive couple.
Mm-hmm.
I do not feel that there is a sexual chemistry between them.
Right, yeah. There's not a romance there. It's a partnership.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it depends how you define romance. There is a love there, and it probably is a romantic love rather than a brother-sister love or a friend love.
Yeah.
But I do not buy them having that rip your clothes off passion.
Yeah.
Just doesn't.
Yeah, I think they have the same chemistry as Cisco and Caitlin. It's that sort of. They work really well together and they care very much and they'll do anything for each other and they back each other up. But.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe I don't know. But you're right. There's something a little off about it.
Yeah, and it works now. They've gotten to this situation. I just think I've never bought it in the build up to this. In all the seasons past, it was like, okay, he's obsessing about her. I'm not sure why, because I'm not getting anything back, and I think he would have moved on by now. But fine. So, but it was good for her to probably take control throughout this, to be telling people what to do, to be giving good advice to people, and then to have a bomb earring to get them out of the situation.
Yep, I like
Great.
it. I like it.
She is a capable leader, and that's good. That's what this team needed.
And she's better as a leader than Barry is.
Yeah.
You know, Barry might be, first violinist if we're putting it in an orchestral setting, but she is the conductor.
Yeah, she plays the orchestra.
Yeah, exactly.
In a way that Arrow could do with having. Not with Oliver in command, whilst also being a soldier.
Yeah, because Oliver's too shouty, shouty and sulky and single-minded to actually step back and see the bigger picture.
Yeah, that's the problem. He's not detached enough.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
If he wasn't also Green Arrow, which they were setting up at one time, it would be interesting to see him as a leader, but they've not gone that path.
No.
Yeah. One other thing on Flash, they were setting up an interesting thing about being able to access pocket dimensions in a similar way that Cisco potentially does.
Yep.
With being high. And then they cut to Cisco and making a comment about having the glue on him. And I just wonder, are they setting up something that, like they've done a couple of times on Legends of being high and going on a vision quest, with we can take him down if you get high and open up a tear in space.
Maybe. I see where you're going, and I was with you until, and maybe I misunderstood this, but it seemed like the hippie dude was actually DeVoe? No? No. He is in the pipeline, he is himself, and then DeVoe goes to the pipeline and takes them all over. And he is the last one. You know, DeVoe jumps to the last person he takes over. Right. Okay.
So he is the last person he takes over.
So
he is
the
DeVoe
hippie
for a bit.
dude has genuinely been in DeVoe's lair before he's been taken over by DeVoe.
Yep.
When he was very high.
Yes.
So okay.
I don't know it's going to come to anything, but it was just an interesting.
Well, it was an interesting juxtaposition with Cisco sniffing glue.
Yeah. Why are we making this point? It seems to serve no purpose, unless it's just the comedy of dudes getting high, which is very funny.
Glue sniffing, never funny.
Yeah. So I don't know. If something comes of that, I just want it on record. I called it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Legends or Flash, which did you enjoy more this week?
Flash.
Yeah?
Absolutely Flash. Legends spoiled its copybook with stupid Bebo ending.
Yeah. Yeah, had that come to a big fight between people we actually cared about, but it was just two CG monsters that we haven't really seen for most of the season. I mean, Mala's only got introduced at the end of the last episode. Bebo we've seen a couple of times, but I'm just watching a video game at that point and not the characters that they've built us up to care about.
I mean, the Malice was just an example of the threat of the big bad is actually a lot more interesting than the big bad itself appearing.
Yeah. Yeah. They did that. It's just made me think, have you seen Blade? The old Wesley Snipes thing.
Yeah.
At the end, Stephen Dorff, in the original idea, was going to become this big blood monster. And apparently when they did a test thing, audience just didn't care at that point. And it's this exact thing that they just went, well, that's not the character we've watched for this whole thing. So they then went back and refilmed it with him actually fighting.
Yeah.
And I had this been Damien with malice inside him, but taking over his body, not becoming a new creature, and even fighting Bebo.
I was about to say, even in fact, it's just brought a smile to my face. Bebo belly flopping on top of a black veiny Damien Dark.
Yeah. Or
I'd watch that.
Karate kung fu stuff or magic stuff or
exactly.
But 2 CG monsters didn't work.
Yeah,
okay.
Agreed.
So we have now done with Legends. So we are going to have probably 5 weeks where we are watching 3 shows a week until I think Arrow and Flash are going to have season finales on the same week.
Okay.
And then I think we're going to probably take a hiatus for 3 or 4 weeks. Maybe a little wedding in there somewhere. Maybe a little honeymoon. And then when we come back, I think that will probably be the week of the Supergirl finale. So we'll do all the Supergirl episodes in one. So we will basically binge the end of that season and do an episode for everyone.
Nice.
So, quite exciting. I think even Arrow's potentially going to get to an interesting place. Hopefully, we've now cleared up all the shouty, grumpy stuff we've had. And Flash, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens.
Yes, agreed.
Great. So that wraps us up for another week. If you have thoughts, questions, or comments, you can use the hashtag ATAV on Twitter. Or you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram as Eloquent Gushing. If you want to help support us, please check out our Patreon page where you can get access to exclusive content across all our shows. Go to patreon.com/eloquentgushing. And don't forget to visit the homepage, eloquentgushing.com, where you can find the other shows across the network and subscribe to our weekly newsletter with all the goings on. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you across the Arrowverse.
Across the Arrowverse is an Eloquent Gushing production. For more shows you'll love, please visit eloquentgushing.com.